The Liberation Program was founded in 1999 with the idea that young people not just needed a space to learn about their history and learn about young people as leaders, but a space to exercise what they were learning, a space for them to be guided by other folks as they were developing skills as activists and organizers, and then using those tools to actually go on ahead and tackle issues that matter to them.
With the Liberation Program, it's really making sure that they're developing their identities as activists and organizers and using that as an opportunity to do positive work in the neighborhoods or communities that they identify with.
Some of the work that Liberation Program members have done in the community have ranged from advocating for the rehabilitation of an abandoned school building in our neighborhood, to getting information out to tenants about what their rights were, to looking at issues within their schools around over-suspension, police surveillance, and creating a student bill of rights.
What inspired me to be active in my community was realizing the injustice that exists. And though I didn't quite call it injustice at 16, I definitely knew there was a discrepancy in what certain people were receiving and what others were. And it was something that made me uncomfortable. Even if I could talk about it at home, I couldn't really talk about it in school, and I felt as though there should be a place to discuss it, to learn more about why it exists, the roots of it, and also to begin to dissect it so as to change it.
Preparing young people to do this work, especially in a community like Harlem, is wonderful because Harlem has its history of youth activism and people being engaged, but also so many things that are impacting young people in New York City today and in Harlem specifically. There's a need for young people to step up and say, not in my name, this is how we're going to move forward, and this is how I'm going to be in contribution to making a social change.
I still hear my brother crying, I can't breathe. Now I'm in the struggle singing, I can't breathe. Calling out the violence of these racist police. And we ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. I still hear my brother crying, I can't breathe. Now I'm in the struggle singing, I can't leave.
I loved history, but I loved the history that it almost seemed like we weren't supposed to be learning in school. Like you'd hear about Malcolm X, you'd hear about Martin Luther King, but we never heard about Hubert Harrison. We never really heard about Marcus Garvey, or you never heard about the rent strikes or anything like that. And when you look at it, saying 1964, the killing of James Powell, who was 15 years old, really sparking those riots in Harlem, and then that spreading through the rest of the country, it actually meant that, okay, well, it wasn't just, the adults, it wasn't just the elders, and that young people had a role in that.
In the U.S., youth-led movements are not new. When we look at organizations like the Young Lords Party, the Black Panther Party, folks were young and they were taking the lead. So the Freedom Schools, registering people to vote in the Deep South, that was led by a diverse group of young people from throughout the country to make sure that all citizens had the right to vote. The role of young people in the women's rights movement and the rights for LGBTQ communities involved in the Chicano movement, also thinking about the role of young people on an international level. We look at the Soweto uprising in the 1970s in South Africa, young people who came together to say enough is enough, and we're not going to take this apartheid regime that's treating us as less than. We're going to step up for the betterment of our country and for our people. And so to see young people at the plate now in 2015, it's expected, and it's absolutely what's still wanted and needed in the country.
The core of what we do in the Liberation Program is linking the young people, their history now, with the context of what's happened or what has happened in our neighborhood throughout the times.
I think it's up to young people to develop their rebellion and use it in a way to transform society. They need to know the history, and they need to know a variety of tactics that have been used so that they can create new ones.
We understand that the young people that they were working with, they're strong, and they're powerful. And it's going to be that power that's going to bring the change that a lot of us have wanted for so long.